Hello, everyone. Good afternoon. I am Yim Gu Kim. In grade 11, I was going to talk about the Doctors Without Borders, or MSF. For the table of contents, I'm going to talk about what is MSF, the charters of MSF, principles of MSF, and the response of MSF to COVID-19 currently. For the first thing, what is MSF? Yeah, as you see in the PowerPoint, MSF was made or founded in 1971 by French doctors and journalists. That's why the MSF Médecins Sans Frontières is in French. For the second information, Doctors Without Borders is a non-governmental organization, which is an organization that is not interfered by any government. So because they are not interfered by any government, they can go to countries without any disturbance to help people who are in need. Also, Doctors Without Borders is an organization that follows humanitarianism, and I'm gonna talk about humanitarianism later. And lastly, what they really do is they help people who are victims of man-made or natural disasters, and also victims of armed conflicts, which also can mean wars. For the humanitarianism, it is an ideology with a way of thinking that all people or all human are equal. So they should have equal respect and dignity given, and they should be given help if they need, regardless of race, nationality, system, or religion. This is the end. And for the second, the purpose of MSF or the charters of MSF is the following. For the charters are like the rights or authorities of MSF and what they do. For the first thing, they should provide assistance to populations in distress, like victims. A while ago, I talked about the natural or man-made disasters or wars. For the second, they should observe neutrality. Since they are a non-government organization, they should stay neutral. So they should only fulfill what task they are given to, like medical help, and also the freedom in what they are going to do for the patient. For the third, members should undertake the respect their professional code, because in MSF, although they are called the Doctors Without Borders, the people in MSF is not always doctors. Like only like 30% of the whole organization are doctors, and there are also other people who may be a construction worker before, or maybe an actor. So even though people may think that MSF only does things that are related to health, they should also have people or group mates that are related to other things to help in other necessary fields. For the fourth, members should understand the risks and dangers of the missions. So they should not really claim for any more rewards or compensations unless the association can give or give, or they are able to afford them on what they are demanding. Now for the third, this is the principles of MSF, and this should be done very precisely, because it would be very sensitive. It would be a very sensitive matter if they won't follow this. For the first principle, it's medical ethics. Um, MSF's actions are first and foremost medical. They only should do things that are related to the health of the patients or the victims all over the world. And also, they should carry out what they do with respect for the patient. The patient should know what medications they're having, and they have the right to be informed. So the duty to provide care without causing harm to individuals or groups should be done by the members of the MSF. And they should also put effort in providing high quality medical care so no one would be sick anymore. Now, for the second principle, it's the independence. So all decision of the MSF members are independent, so they should not have any they should not have anyone to blame on. And also they strive to ensure that they have the power to freely evaluate medicational needs. So they could ask the country to give some medical aids if they have something needed. Now for the third one, it's impartiality and neutrality. As I told you a while ago, neutrality is like you should stay neutral, so you can't take sides. However, this doesn't always mean that they should stay quiet. So yeah, so what I'm gonna tell you the next would explain more about this. So they are also given the priority, or they should help those who are in need most. So the person who is in the most dangerous place or disease would take the medication first. For the for the fourth one, it's bearing witness. This is a bit similar with impartiality because bearing witness is like the MSF members could speak out publicly to the government or other people if there is something that is going wrong. So, like for example, if a government is trying to hinder the actions of the MSF and trying to endanger the people, they could speak publicly to the world globally about the actions of this government. And for the last principles, it's the accountability. MSF is committed to regularly evaluate the effects of its activities. So they always evaluate what they do about their projects and stuff. So they have the responsibility of what they do during they are in the activities. Now for the last, this is the most important part, I think, because it's the response to COVID-19. There were three things that the MSF has done for the response. So for the first response, they continue the projects that has already started. So even though the MSF members are already outside the countries and or all over the world, they didn't stop their projects even though COVID-19 was already all over the world to help the people who are really in need, except from the COVID-19. For the second thing they have done, they created COVID-19 crisis funds. This would help people who are in places that are potentially dangerous. So for the people who are maybe vulnerable to COVID-19 because they don't have like houses or proper hygiene kits, so they would have these funds provided to those people. And lastly, they help healthcare workers by making them safe from the pandemic and lessen their pressure. Um, as everyone know, the healthcare workers like the doctors and the nurses are having a very hard time in taking care of all of the patients of COVID-19. So MSF members would help these healthcare workers because if they have more pressure and if they meet more people, they might be they might take in the coronavirus. So these MSF members would help them and keep them safe from the pandemic. And this is the last slide. And thank you for listening to my TED PowerPoint.